Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, that thing was working a minute ago. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No? Nothing? Stupid thing. Thank you very much. Thank you. You can't hear me now, can you? Good morning. Welcome to Southminster Steinhauer Church. Welcome to a place, hee-haw. Welcome to a place of exploration. Welcome to a place of community and diversity. Welcome this morning to the circle where we're invited to open ourselves to compassion and depth, knowing that we're each important and each valued here on this morning as we greet each other, as we form this circle with one another. We're each valuable and we're each able to be and live and make a difference in our world, and we celebrate that. We honor it. We explore ways to grow deeper in it. No matter who we are welcome and safe to explore honestly here. Today we offer a special welcome to those participating this weekend in the Ever Wonder Conference. Welcome to all of you. This has been a weekend of building connections, of learning, of exploring, of meeting new friends and old. And we welcome each and every person that's been part of this conference to our gathering this morning. And we welcome, of course, all of us who hold this circle week in and week out. We hope that this space is warmed by our presence and all are made to feel that they belong. Welcome too to those of you joining us for the first time or maybe for the first time in a while. We hope you'll find a place of welcome. Welcome too to those who are joining us by live stream this morning from wherever you happen to be, and for those who will join us through our website throughout the week. Just an invitation, of course, children are welcome in this gathering all the time, all morning long. But if that for the children in the room is not what you're looking for, there is also a playroom at the back, just on the other side of those windows. And you're most welcome to either stay or go and explore what you need to in there. Let's begin by honoring this place. We're situated right here on the ancestral land of the Cree people of Treaty 6. And for that, we're grateful. We're here in the southwest corner of Edmonton on the ancestral lands of the Papas Chase First Nation. And for that, we're grateful. And we're here in central Alberta, the lands of our Métis brothers and sisters. And for that, we're grateful. We're here in this place where our own ancestors or we ourselves chose to settle and have made a home. And for that, we're grateful. This is a place where we honor what has come before us. We seek to live in a relationship with this land and her peoples, and to work daily toward an attitude and life of reconciliation and partnership. May this morning be an expression of that. And may our gratitude lead to our right and reconciling action. We have been in this weekend on what one might call a journey in and out of the river of wonder. And it's that river that we seek to dip our toe in or to dive in head first all throughout our lives. The river of wonder, of questioning, of exploring, of deeper and more compassionate living. Let's invite each other into that river and sing our way into this gathering.
River running in you and me, sing a mighty mystery, dancing down to the holy sea. River run deep, the river run free. River laughed on my birthing day, wind and water joined in play, soaked my soul in a shining spray. River run deep, the river run free. River cry my name to me, lend me hope and memory, sing me the story of the holy sea. River run deep, the river run swim afraid I'll drown, give me courage to journey on. River run deep, river run free. River running in you and me, spirit of life, deep mystery. River run deep, river run free.
Regardless of what our morning has looked like, whether we've gotten up on the right side of the bed or the wrong, or the left, whether we're feeling good about the day or grumpy, whether we're here willingly or because we were dragged by the person next to us, for all the many various reasons that we're here this morning, we can be invited to center ourselves and to simply center ourselves in the idea that we can be fully present to this moment. We can center ourselves and say, we are here. There is no other place to be. We can let this time be completely ours. In these centering words, may these words help us to not just be doing the task of getting here, but to accomplish the task of being here. To each of my phrases, would you respond as a community with the words before you? May we open to the wonder of life. In the newly born light of this day, may we open to the wonder of life. In the trouble and the beauty of the world and our lives, may we open to the wonder of life. In the presence of our very real hopes and fears, may we open to the wonder of life. In the wisdom of stories, ancient, new, and yet to be written, may we open to the wonder of life. In this time, and in this place, in this very moment, may we open to the wonder of life. And so it is again that we light this candle, as we do every time we gather and meet together. We light this candle because it reminds us that this same light that's burning in this candle in our center is the light that shines in our universe, in the celestial objects both near and far, that shines in the lives in each of us, a light we share, a light we cherish, a light that holds all that's meaningful and valuable as we make our way together, a symbol of that which we hold dear, of that which without which in our lives we would lose something. This light reminds us of the strength and pervasiveness of our significance. Love, the great work of our lives, of all of our lives, connecting us to those we've loved, those with whom we share this life right now, and those who will carry our light forward. This light is a symbol. May we be reminded here as we gather. And if we need reminding, to glance at this flame. Reminded of our most worthy aspirations. Inspired to bring to the world and to this moment our best humanity. Compassion and justice and love. And may we know once again that we're not isolated beings, but that we're connected to the universe, to this and all our communities, to each other. May you add your words and voices as we center ourselves with these words that we can speak together. Let's strengthen our intentions for this time and for our living as we speak together. We pause amid the delights and demands of life to consider our lives. Amid the joys and duties of living, we focus our gratitude on the gifts of life. Into this circle, we come to examine our priorities and recalibrate our perspective. We take this time to focus and reinvest ourselves in living the values we cherish most deeply. May we be inspired by the wisdom we find here to be nudged into a larger consciousness. May we nurture habits that shape our living with deeper reverence. May it be so in so many ways. This is a time we call the time for all ages. which is to say it's a time for all of us. And I would like to invite any who are feeling like they are one of those people, one of all of us, that would like to come and share a time together on the carpet or on a chair close by if getting down on the carpet is not your thing. If you're a kid at heart, you're welcome to come. Let's have some time together. Today, all of us are going to talk about how busy we are. So, I'm busy being one of the people planning and leading a conference this weekend. What are the rest of you being busy? What are you busy doing and being? Are you busy being a mom, a dad? Are you busy being a volunteer? What are you busy doing or being? Let's just call it out if you have something. Work. Oh, condo board. Conference participant. What was over there? Back to school. Oh, yeah. What's that? A trip to Edmonton and a conference volunteer. Sponsoring refugees. Someone's busy growing big. Mm-hmm. Busy being a dad. And a grandma. Busy eating. Mm-hmm. You busy eating? Good, okay. Great. Busy keeping in touch. Oh my goodness, we're very busy. We're very busy. It's important for all of us when we're busy to find times and ways that we can feel okay with that. We're never going to not be busy. We'll always be busy doing something, but we have to feel like there's some times that we can have some peace or some time or some gratitude, some time to find in the midst of being busy. Hi, Asha. Lots of us are busy, and so there are lots of ways that we can find quiet when we're busy. But one of those ways is even just what we do all the time without thinking about it. And we're going to do it together right now. Breathing. Are you thinking about your breathing right now? Not really. Let's think about our breathing. Here's what we're going to do. This is a favorite thing of mine to do when I want to think about my breathing. I'm going to stand up to do this. Not only can we take deep breaths when we're busy, and it can help us think differently and feel differently, but here's something I do when I breathe. I put my fingers together. That sounds weird, doesn't it? I want to show you. I see how slowly and gently I can get my fingers to touch as I breathe out. And then when I breathe in, I very slowly pull them apart like they're sticky. They're sticky with tape, but then they come apart and they expand like this. Do you want to try it with me? Try it. Here we go. Fingers together. Let's breathe. And let it go. Keep breathing out and bring your fingers together and look at them. Look at them get close. Do it again. There are so many ways when we're busy to just take 5 seconds to breathe. And sometimes when we have something to look at when we breathe that uses our body, it just helps us to feel better and to think better. Thank you. I want to read a little story. It's really quick. And it's called Ishi. Simple tips from a solid friend. Here's our solid friend right here on the cover. See this little rock guy? That's Ishi. Ishi, here he is, or she. I don't know who Ishi is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. When something feels impossible, I sleep and rest, and I try again the next day. When I feel bottled up, I move my body. Run, swim, climb a tree. When I feel stinky, look, he's in the garbage. I treat myself to something yummy. When I feel the pressure, I close my eyes and slowly, deeply, and quietly breathe. Hey, we kind of just did that, didn't we? When I feel lonely like a leftover, I reach out to my friends. When I feel like a failure, I remind myself that every experience makes me grow. When I feel like I just need a break, I take a break. When I feel like I'm the only one who's different, I remind myself that everyone is different. When I feel stuck, I tell myself to always move forward, never backwards. When nothing makes me feel better, I go outside. Nature is amazing. When I feel hopeless, I surround myself with dreamers, people with great ideas. When I feel sad thinking about what's missing, I remind myself to focus on what I have and appreciate it. When I feel lost, I lean on my friends. When I feel empty, I give. When I feel unhappy, I smile. Smiling is contagious. Pass it on. Thank you, Ishi. Those were tips from a solid friend. Thanks, Ishi. I love that. One of the ways that we can do anything we need to do, in the first week of school, at work, in all the ways we're busy, is to find ways to just be. We're going to sing about it.
We're going to try again. Yeah, it works. In the tradition that we share with our Jewish brothers and sisters, among the stories that have been handed down to us is a story about a character named Moses, a very flawed hero. And he comes to us with that archetypal story of a journey hero. And we meet him today in the world of the story after he's committed an act of violence that caused him to be rejected both by his own people and by his adopted family and culture. Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law, and he led the flock out beyond the wilderness, and he came to a mountain. And there he saw a flame out of fire out of a bush, and he looked, and the bush was blazing, but it wasn't consumed. And he said to himself, I must turn aside and look at this sight and see why the bush isn't consumed. And from the midst of the bush, he heard his name. And he responded, I'm here. And he took the sandals off his feet to honor the place in which he stood as holy ground. In this legend of ancient Israel, passed down to us in ways which became scripture for Judaism and Christianity. May we find wisdom for our living. Many of you know that Carolyn Mcdade is a giant in my life. Her music has been important to us in this community, and mostly we know Carolyn as a songwriter and a composer. But about 20 years ago, she had a very unusual autumn in her life, one in which, as she describes it, her body failed, and with the support of her family, she was able to spend an entire autumn in her cottage on Cape Cod, taking care of her body rather than doing the kinds of things that the autumn season is usually about, the busyness of so much in our lives. And into that gift of time, she began to know the place where she lived in a new way. And she became very intimate with a particular yellow bush that took up residence with her and in her, that she watched each day as it moved through the season of autumn. And she wrote down in her journal things she never intended to be poems, but eventually those things became collected together. And they are in her book called Through the Moons of Autumn. And at the end of her introduction to the book, she says this: "My autumn taught me we are not alone. The marsh will guide us. The grass show us the way. The stones remind us of what we must remember. The seedlings on the knoll speak of all the cycles on when our generation rolls back into the hills. The best of our ancients teach us of vows that bend the road beneath our feet and structure our day's rising, that call us to ways that deepen our humanity and teach us to cleanse the waters is to cleanse the soul. I often wonder what it would be like if we dared to love this life, the fragile and vulnerable, the endangered, daring to be humble before the multitude and magnitude of our beginnings, daring to lean our species into a stubborn and pliant wonder until reverence shines in all that we do, until we live an economics of reverence, a theology of reverence, a politics of reverence, until it permeates education, development, and healthcare, homes and relationships, arts and agriculture. A reverence for life, for planetary, social, and personal wholeness. This is our purpose now. May we do it well, with thoroughness and love. In the inspiration of this fellow traveler,
when wonder meets our living, when questions guide our way, when pondering what wisdom shall be pushed away or stay. The reverence of a living fills our wonder, our wholeness, kindness, love, and just held peace behold the world's diverse and fragile splendor. We wonder what our role will be.
Life is littered with unmarked crossings. Places that invite us to do what our earliest teachings taught us. Places to stop, look, and listen. I say this not because I'm a mystic, but because I am one of those people who so easily takes up residence in that dust cloud of thought. Absorbed in the world of ideas without any effort at all. I can pass brilliant canola fields, meticulously rolled bales of hay, the spectacular prairie sky, the breathtaking sight of geese flying their formation. I can pass all of that on my commute from home to here and never notice any of it. Because I'm so occupied arranging and rearranging my mental furniture, making the list, writing the first paragraph in my head over and over, trying not to forget it till I got here. Thinking about someone whose life just changed on a dime. That I can't see what's right in front of me. And maybe that's why I resonate with that infamous character created in the literature of an ancient people. In the world of the story, it's just an ordinary day in the life of an ordinary sheepkeeper in the extraordinary expanse of the desert. And I imagine him occupied and preoccupied with his thoughts. He comes to us as this very complicated character with a lifetime of fortunes and flaws that have placed him in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of hungry sheep. But on this day, he stumbles unexpectedly into an unmarked crossing. We've all been there, and we'll be there again. We've all come to those times and places in our lives where something just stops us in our tracks, causes us to pause, to stop and look and listen and see the miracle we're living. to hear it in our own breath, and to bow before the mystery of being. I had one of those moments in the middle of winter. It started out to be an ordinary, hurried walk with our beloved Tibetan Terrier. It was meant to be the last duty of the morning that I could cross off the list before I headed to work. And it was all things usual. It was a dog loving the cold, crisp air, lingering over every scent, while his person was trying to hurry him along to get that entitlement over with. But it was one of those mornings that the night had painted white, and everything was coated in hoarfrost. Everything was shimmering, and I was called out of my routine into the miracle of being born into this day. Another day I had never seen before. It wasn't a day to call in sick, it was a day to call in well. Because wellness really meant dropping everything and just being sidetracked by that beauty. It meant saying, here I am, I'm here. It meant there was somewhere more important to be than in front of a computer screen. How many times would a Bedouin shepherd walk that same path in the desert? How many times could we walk past the very same bush? How many times would he, like me, walk right on by and not be sidetracked by the sacredness of the moment? Reverence requires a different way of walking. It means abandoning our shoes of hurry and worry and stopping and looking and listening. Strangely enough, being barefoot helped him hear. It helped him hear that he couldn't escape what it means to be human. It helped him hear in the world of the story that he might outrun the palace posse, but he couldn't run away from the sacredness of life, of the miracle of having been given this one wild and precious life. Unmarked crossings are everywhere in our lives. Our mothers taught us they were dangerous. But really, the danger is to go on without being astonished by the miracle that we are crossing into astonishment. The gift of being here. The danger is that we go on throughout that breathtaking moment of beauty, throughout those heroic moments of humanity at best, throughout those spirited moments of communion with this miraculous planetary home we share, and we don't stop or look or listen to those awe-inspiring acts of compassion, courage, resilience, adaptation and evolution that we witness every day within the community of life, but often struggling so hard to pause and ponder and bow in reverence. In our very cluttered, busy lives, it takes deep intention to remove our socks and shoes and boots so we can stop and look and listen. And it takes practice to tune our ears and train our eyes to make reverence a habit of our hearts. But what if we were to find holiness everywhere? What if reverence really were to shine in all that we do?
When I was a boy, each week on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. And when I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad, miracles don't happen still. Now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Testament, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush and singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
We share many friendships in this room. One of the friendships we celebrate this day is the friendship between Southminster Steinhauer United Church and West Hill United Church in Scarborough. We welcome the leader of that community, Greta Vosper, her partner, who is the music director of that community, Scott Kearns. We welcome Michael and Linda Laurie, who are also here from West Hill United Church. And before Greta comes to offer words of greeting from West Hill, I want us to share in an act of solidarity. On many occasions when West Hill gathers, they speak their commitment in words that are before us, words we have shared here a number of times in this community, in friendship and solidarity, and also as a way of framing our own intentions and commitments. And so together, I invite us to offer these words with one another. As I live every day, I want to be a channel for peace. We'll have an opportunity to hear Greta speak on the topic, Ever Wonder, Are We Dead Yet? At 1 o'clock. But for now, Greta, we welcome you. Please come and receive our greetings.
It is really such an honor to be here and such a privilege to be amongst this community, not just this morning, but for the entire weekend. On Friday evening, when we gathered in this space, we opened the conference gathering with a beautiful weaving together of song and space creating and words of wisdom and gathering in. And I was moved to tears throughout that, over and again, because as a person who has a regular Sunday gig, I'm the one responsible for creating that kind of space. But there has been only one other time in my relationship with church that I have ever been in a space where I have been allowed to sit and invite it to seep into me, without any barriers or exclusion happening at all. And that occasion was the conference of the Canadian Centre for Progressive Christianity in 2013 in Halifax, when Nancy created that space every time she brought us together in a celebration gathering, a worship setting. And so it was so moving to be held in that space again on Friday evening, and to be here amongst you, to watch this be woven into being is such a gift. And to know that you are creating and sustaining and developing a relationship with the congregation that I serve is a gift to us as well. So I bring my personal appreciation. I bring the appreciation of a congregation that often feels so alone on this journey, but who knows and stands confident in the relationship that they have with you and regularly celebrate it in our gatherings together. So thank you from them. Feel that appreciation. Christopher, could I have you come and hold the microphone for me? Just, be a stand for a second. Okay.
It's one of the few things I can do.
I thought you could. Okay, you're good. Nancy, could you come up? On Christmas, our Christmas tradition has changed over the years. We no longer have Christmas services. The committee that's responsible for our gatherings at West Hill said enough already with the Christmas stuff to me several years ago. And so it was, I was required to come up with something new that gathered in all of the energy and the gift and the miracle of that time of year and offer it back to a community in a way that could be sustaining and bring life and bring that sense of mystery and beauty to us at that time of year when it seems to ripple through the world in so many different ways. And one of the things that we have done at that time is celebrate light. The bringing back of light. We gather together on the solstice and we call light back. And we name at that time that every single life, every child born into this world is light come into the world. That the potential and the opportunity and the possibility that the world will be crafted in a new way as a result of that life is enormous. We can't possibly measure it. And so in that service, when people come forward to take a candle to hold up while Scott's playing one of his songs, we hand each of them a bracelet made of candlewick, and we say to them, "You are the light of the world." And Nancy, you are the light of the world. Thank you. And now if you could hold the microphone. You too, Christopher. You are the light of the world. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you too are the light of the world. So thank you for holding us. Thank you very much.
In what has been a dark time in the experience of many of us in our hopes and dreams and aspirations for our communities, our spiritual journey, we celebrate the light we bring to one another and the light that is ours to shine in the world. I believe that Michael Lowry also would like to say a word of greeting from West Hill. Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Nancy. Many people have said it's a dangerous thing to give me a microphone and step aside, but I promise to be brief. You won't have to hold the microphone for me, by the way. I bring you greetings from your sister congregation, West Hill United Church in Scarborough, Ontario, in a land far away, in a place that's very different from this, 3,500 kilometers. A gathering like this happened this morning, even in Greta's absence. There is a strong leadership and a strong courage in that congregation. And we speak often of you folks here at Southminster Steinauer, and we speak often of you, Nancy, and we sing your songs, Christopher, almost every Sunday. And it is so wonderful to meet you, to hear you, and to see you doing the music. What an experience. There are only 4 of us here from West Hill United, but I make no apologies for those folks because that's Greta Vosper, whom we love to share with this community, with every community. Scott Cairns, who is so talented, so joyful, so vibrant. And when he stops his music and speaks, something magical happens as well. What a dynamic couple those two are. So Louise and I are just so fortunate to have been able to come and join this group. We are connected, we are interconnected, and I want you to know that we think often of you folks and we hold you in our hearts, and your leadership inspires us as well. So with that joy, with that ever wonder, to you conferees and you that are here just for this morning gathering, be it known that you are loved and held in our hearts by the people of West Hill, and may that union, that connection continue. Thank you.
And we've learned what it is to give you a microphone, Scott, so we're not going to give you a microphone, we're going to give you a piano. And we're going to sing with one another a recent composition of Scott's. And we know you're going to want to stand. I just want to share a couple of very quick invitations with you. Immediately following this time in this circle, we want to invite you to all stay for lunch. You don't have to have brought something. I know we called it a potluck, but that's just a church thing. We just, there's all kinds of food. Please stay and enjoy lunch with us. You'll receive your lunch by making your way through these doors at the back, and those of you that have gotten so used to going downstairs, don't do that because there's no food down there. Just make your way through these back doors and hang a left. You can use the washrooms on the way by if you need to, and make your way into the small hall. You'll find that there's tables there. We can have 4 lines going at once. Pick up your pickup lunch, and then Get out of here. So you take it anywhere you can perch. We'd love you to make your way out to the tent and use the tent. There's benches in the memorial garden, and those of you that enjoy being able to sit at a table, the tables are downstairs and you can take your food down and enjoy sitting there. You can come back in here and just take your place. We're going to share a very time to have conversation with each other over lunch, and then we'll come back into this room at 1 o'clock and we'll hear from Greta, who will be introduced to us again, and will share a lecture with us, followed by some time to engage with her in question and answer. Following that talk, there will also be an opportunity for everyone who would like to stay for a panel discussion on the question, is there a place for non-theists in the United Church of Canada? We have 3 panelists that will be moderated by our moderator, Dale Irving, who will share their thoughts and perspectives on that question, and there will also be time for you to offer your questions and comments in engagement with the panel. So please feel welcome to stay and participate in those activities this afternoon. Come back next Sunday when we will be celebrating our Welcome Sunday, which means we get to eat sugar in massive quantities. So there'll be time to gather with each other and enjoy the sweetness of community together, and then cotton candy to get you nice and sticky, ice cream sundaes, and some fun things for kids to do. And our Kids Space program will begin again next Sunday, and our Youth Cafe will begin again after its summer break. And also, many of you will have noticed that the Beyond series is returning this fall for its sequel. There are posters available on the table at the back for those of you in the Edmonton area, beginning in October, once a month, on a Wednesday that's scheduled on that list. Posters that you can take and post in your spiritual communities. A time to come together to hear a variety of speakers on provocative topics that are of interest to many of us. So please feel welcome to that. There are so many ways that we support our life and work here, and this is an opportunity for us to contribute, if we're able, from our financial means to support the work we do here, and also to receive the gift of music.
This light that we lit, it's going to change. It always changes. But you know what? We've been reminded this morning that we walk from this place and from this time with awe and reverence for life and for living. And you know what? We are all lights for the world. So let us go with this changed light inside and around and swirling among each of us. Here it is. Let's go into this day to be the light that we are. Let's sing our way